The self-agency paradox, when control becomes its own trap. You're not actually in control if the only thing you are controlling is how you avoid discomfort. Introduction: the illusion of control. People love the idea of control. They want to believe they're steering their own lives, making deliberate choices, and shaping their future. But here's the kicker. Most people's version of control is just a well-decorated cage. It's like they've feng shuied their own prison and hung a live, laugh, love sign on the bars. Think about it. How often do people micromanage every little detail of their life, not to grow, but to avoid uncertainty? Obsess over self-improvement hacks, but never actually apply them. Cut people off at the first sign of discomfort, calling it boundaries, instead of avoiding emotional growth. Convince themselves they're focusing on themselves, when really, they're just scared to take risks. Yeah, I mean, self-care is great until it's just Netflix and excuses with a side of yoga pants. That's fake control. It feels like you're in charge, but really it's just the ego keeping you safe while making you believe you're moving forward. This is the self-agency paradox in action. People think they're controlling their lives, but their control is really just a way of staying stuck while pretending they're evolving. Let's break it down. 1. The illusion of control, when taking charge, is just avoidance. The self-help world loves the idea of control. Books, podcasts, influencers, they all push the idea that if you just structure your life perfectly, control your emotions flawlessly, and build the right habits, you'll be unstoppable. And yeah, some of that's true, to a point. Structure helps, planning is useful, discipline matters. But there's a tipping point where control stops being power and starts being a shield. Examples of fake control disguised as growth. Someone hyper-schedules their life, convinced that more structure equals more progress, but really, they're just afraid of dealing with uncertainty. Someone reads book after book on relationships, but never actually puts themselves out there. They claim they're learning when they're really just avoiding rejection. Someone cuts people off for the smallest infractions, thinking they're enforcing boundaries, but deep down, they're just afraid of working through conflict. The key question is, are you controlling your life to grow or just to avoid discomfort? Because real control means being able to handle messiness, risk, and emotional friction without shutting down. If your version of control erases those things, it's not control, it's avoidance. You're not a Zen master, you're just a glorified hall monitor for your own life. 2. Real versus fake self-agency. Are you actually steering your own life? Self-agency is about taking ownership of your life. But real agency and fake agency feel similar at first. The difference? One actually moves you forward, while the other just makes you feel like you're doing something. Here's the difference between fake self-agency and real self-agency. Fake self-agency avoids discomfort in the name of self-care. Real self-agency faces discomfort as part of growth. Fake self-agency reads about change, but never implements it. Real self-agency applies insights, even and especially when it's hard. Fake self-agency controls small things to avoid big decisions, like rearranging your sock drawer while your career's on fire. Look at you go, oh Marie Kondo of denial. Real self-agency makes real, high-stakes choices. Fake self-agency blames others for their circumstances. Real self-agency takes full ownership of outcomes. Fake self-agency seeks validation for their choices. Real self-agency moves forward without needing approval. A lot of people think they're taking control, but they're really just making their comfort zone feel more intentional. If you want to know whether your agency is real, ask yourself, am I actually changing or just refining my excuses? Am I making bold decisions or just rearranging the furniture in my comfort zone? Am I doing things that scare me or only what feels safe under the label of growth? Because fake self-agency keeps you busy, but real self-agency makes you uncomfortable. 3. The ego's trick: control without responsibility. Here's where it gets even messier. The ego loves control, but it hates accountability. So it convinces people they're taking control without actually holding them responsible for what happens next. Common ego traps in self-agency. I don't tolerate negativity anymore, and then cuts off anyone who challenges them instead of learning conflict resolution. Congratulations, you've upgraded from doormat to bouncer, still not a conversationalist. I'm taking time to work on myself, and then uses self-focus as an excuse to avoid real-world risks. I'm manifesting success, and then spends more time visualizing than actually doing anything to earn it. Look, the ego wants to feel right, comfortable, and safe. It will give you all of the reasons why your stagnation is actually a sign of growth. But real agency? It requires taking uncomfortable responsibility for your choices, including the ones that don't work out. How to break out of the self-agency trap. So, how do you stop feeling in control and actually take control? 1. Recognize where your control is just a safety blanket. Were you overstructuring, overanalyzing, or overplanning to avoid risk? What are you labeling as growth that's actually just a refined excuse? 2. Do something that makes you uncomfortable. If you're always in your head, act. If you avoid conflict, initiate an uncomfortable conversation. Yeah, it'll suck, like ripping off a band-aid made of your own ego. If you control small details but dodge big decisions, make a big decision today. 3. Measure growth by change, not by control. If you're doing the same things but expecting new results, you're stuck. If you've made major life decisions in the past year that scared the hell out of you but forced you to grow, you're on the right track. 4. Drop the need for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for the right time to start. Stop thinking you need to be fully prepared. Stop waiting for certainty. It's never coming. Final takeaway: the only way to know if you're really in control. Self-agency isn't about controlling every detail. It's about owning your direction. If your life is perfectly structured but not evolving, you're not actually in control. You're just avoiding discomfort. If your self-agency is real, you'll be able to make decisions without needing perfect certainty, face conflict and discomfort without retreating. Look back a year from now and see real transformation, not just refined routines. Otherwise, you're just curating your own stagnation museum. And if you're not there yet, good. That means you're paying attention. Now ask yourself, are you actually steering your life or just managing your comfort zone? Closing thoughts. If your self-agency never puts you in uncomfortable territory, it's not self-agency. It's just self-soothing. Like a weighted blanket for your soul. Cozy, but you're still not moving. So what's one thing you can do today that actually pushes you forward instead of just making you feel safe?